Okay, welcome to the deep dive. So, you've come to us looking for something pretty specific.
Yeah, a plan, right? For a haunted historical date night in Tulsa, coming up on Friday the 13th, no less.
Exactly. You need the lowdown on the places with history, maybe some mystery.
Yeah.
So, consider this your shortcut.
We're pulling from historical accounts, paranormal investigators, local stories, all that stuff.
And it's not just about ghosts, is it? It's about the layers of the city, what you see, what you don't see anymore.
Right, understanding how people remember things, the documented history versus, the folklore or the alleged spooky stuff.
So our mission here is to unpack all these sources you send over, find the really fascinating bits about Tulsa's spooky side and its forgotten past.
Basically, give you the backstory you need before you head out.
Okay, let's unpack this then. And we're starting somewhere maybe unexpected. Not ghosts, but a different kind of ghost town.
Yeah, right within the city limits. A place erased, but, not totally forgotten. Alsuma.
Alsuma. Okay, so this was its own town, a village, really. But Tulsa absorbed it back in '66.
Yep, annexed in 1966. And now it's mostly an industrial park area.
But the memories are still there. People like Lloyd McMahon grew up there 47 to 66.
Right, he called it a village. Small, tight-knit. James Goodwin, too, remembered fishing, playing football. Just seemed like a good place.
And what really jumped out, for me anyway, was that community feel they described.
Oh, yeah.
They specifically said it was a black-white community. Okay, people got along, didn't have the arguments and fighting.
That's a powerful piece of history right there. Shared stores, shared spaces.
But things changed. It struggled, being this small pocket between Tulsa and Broken Arrow growing around it.
Yeah, the big issue was services, like basic stuff, sewer, water. They didn't really have it.
The sources kept mentioning privies, outdoor toilets.
Right. And eventually the authorities kind of said, you need indoor plumbing to stay, which they couldn't easily do.
There's that detail from Tom Sewell, Tulsa Gas Technologies.
Yeah.
Bought property there in '99.
Oh, yeah.
It still had an outhouse.
Yeah.
Just a single water spigot outside. Gives you a real picture.
Wow. So the town itself, the houses, mostly gone, but the area's still active, right? Industrially.
Exactly. Brings in sales tax, businesses with, $50,000, $60,000 equipment. Still serving the community, just differently.
And there are little traces left, like the Alsuma soccer complex.
Right, but the village is basically a memory.
So for your date night, Alsuma's not about jump scares. It's about thinking about how places, whole communities can just vanish, leaving memories, ghosts of a different kind.
Yeah, a really poignant way to start, actually.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's shift gears now to the more traditionally spooky places.
Entertainment venues, places with big moments, maybe some tragedy, and possibly lingering energy.
First up, Tulsa Theater. You might know it as the Brady Theater, its old name.
Ah, the Caruso legend. Everyone knows that one, right?
The classic story. Famous opera singer Enrico Caruso visits Tulsa, wants to see oil wells. Car breaks down. It's cold, raining. He walks back, already feeling sick.
Gives this amazing performance, apparently. Standing ovations. One of his best, they said.
But then dies less than a year later back in Italy. And his manager blamed Tulsa, pointed the finger right at that trip, that walk.
So the belief is his spirit came back to the place that, supposedly sealed his fate.
But here's where it gets much darker and connected to real documented history.
The 1921 Tulsa Race Massacre.
Exactly. The sources say the Brady Theater played a huge role. It was used to hold victims.
And the rumors are just awful, that terrible things happened inside, people dying there.
Yeah, described as a holding cell. Several hundred men went in near that many came out. That phrasing is chilling.
It implies a terrible outcome for many.
And then there's that really grim urban legend on top of it all.
The furnace.
Yeah, victims supposedly burned alive in a coal furnace in the basement. Bones buried behind bricks. It's horrific stuff.
And investigators, paranormal investigators cited in the sources, they claim they've got EVP, electronic voice phenomena.
Like ghost voices on recordings.
Yeah. And they say it almost confirms all of the stories, suggests maybe that intense trauma left something behind, an imprint.
Okay, moving to another iconic spot. Kane's Ballroom.
Oh yeah, Kane's, legendary, but it's got that rich and rowdy history.
Totally. Back in the 40s, 50s, it was a proper rowdy roadhouse.
Infamous for fights, like toughest gang fights occurred right outside the Kane's Ballroom door.
Got so bad a prosecutor wanted to literally take a wrecking ball to it.
Huh. Wow. So the idea is maybe some of those spirits are still,
Partying away?
yeah, or just hanging around. They even have names for some of them.
Right. Bob Wills, the Western swing legend, loved playing there so much, maybe he never left.
And Jane, from the 50s, apparently kind of indifferent. And Chloe, who's supposed to be friendly, curious.
Then there's Tulsa Little Theater. Older building, 1930, renovated more recently, 2004.
And the key thing here, the sources say the weird stuff was happening before they even called investigators. The owners were experiencing things first.
Things like what?
Loud footsteps, like really loud, 60 feet up where there's no floor. Impossible height.
Whoa.
And heavy sandbags used on stage just swaying on their own. After investigators stayed overnight, they reportedly confirmed it was haunted.
Okay, last performance venue on this list. Spotlight Theater. Another arts venue, also supposedly haunted.
But this one sounds less welcoming. The sources say the spirits don't seem all that keen to welcome visitors.
Especially downstairs.
Yeah, the basement seems to be the hot spot, phantom footsteps coming towards you, and scratching sounds.
Scratching, like on the walls?
Exactly. And get this, actual scratch marks have been found.
No way.
Yeah, the sources frame it like a really clear warning. Get out!
Okay, so we've got theaters, ballrooms, places tied to performance, crowds, history. Let's step away from the stage now. More unique spots, maybe weirder stories.
Definitely. How about the cave house? Just the look of it is unique.
Right, built in the 20s, had that double life.
Chicken restaurant by day.
Infamous speakeasy by night, Prohibition era.
And the rumors persist, right? That guys like Pretty Boy Floyd, other outlaws, might have actually drunk there.
Adds a layer of outlaw cool, or dread, depending how you see it. And the current owner, Linda Collier. She's reported pretty strange experiences herself.
Like what kind of stuff?
Well, there are those rumors about escape tunnels behind a walled-off ballroom area.
Oh, yeah, they had to close it off, right? Risk of collapse or something, so we might never know if the tunnels are real.
Exactly. And other weird things reported. Keys vanishing from inside the house, then turning up in the backyard.
Strange.
Coyotes heard crying or howling all night nearby, and gusts of wind inside, even when everything's sealed up tight. Just odd.
Okay, that raises a good question. What about the really bizarre stuff? The truly strange tales?
Mohawk Park and golf course comes to mind.
Oh, definitely. Some pretty odd tales from there, like cryptid territory almost.
The creature described as part woman and part deer.
Yeah, and sightings of tiny figures roaming the property, making weird noises, super strange.
But it's not just cryptids. There's also classic ghost stuff happening there, too.
Right, like that haunted bathroom in the golf facility.
Staff see the light turn on when nobody's there.
And here's the kicker. When there's no electricity connected to it.
How does that even happen? Plus, doors opening and closing, seeing things in the mirror. It's a mix of high strangeness and traditional haunting.
Then you've got the Philbrook Museum. People just say it feels really creepy.
Is that the place with the statues? The eyes following you?
That's the one. It's a common report. Maybe psychological, maybe an urban legend, but people feel it. Some even claim the heads physically turn.
Okay, that's intense. But is there anything more confirmed?
Well, staff have reported confirmed paranormal stuff. Lights flicking on and off in hallways late at night, nobody around. Standard ghost activity, but still unsettling in a big museum.
And then there's a high school. Will Rogers High School.
Yeah, haunted by a pretty specific figure, a man in a white tuxedo.
Where do they see him?
Mostly in the auditorium. On stage, backstage.
And they think they know who it is.
Apparently. Identified as Dr. Carl Barnett, he was a band director there, died of a heart attack in the auditorium in 1974.
Oh, wow. That's specific.
And get this detail, supposedly he was conducting Bach's Come Sweet Death when it happened.
Okay, that's like something out of a movie script. Chillin'.
Right. And there are also reports of a smaller figure, also in white, seen sometimes by janitors or students staying late. Another layer to it.
All right, let's talk about the Hex House. This one needs its own section because it's kind of two things at once, right?
Exactly. It's a commercial haunted attraction, a popular one, but it's also tied to some very real, very dark history. It's crucial to separate those.
So the history first. This goes back to the 1940s.
Yeah.
Carol Ann Smith.
Yeah. Horrific story. She ran this sort of occult-based religion, if you can call it that. Held 2 young women hostage.
In the basement, right. Freezing cold, starved them, beatings, bondage, hypnotism. Just awful abuse.
And apparently terrorized neighbors, too, like dumping hot water on them. Truly disturbing.
And the house where this happened, 10 East 21st Street, that original house is gone now.
Torn down in '75. It's a parking lot today, but people say that spot still feels wrong. lingering negative energy.
And there are specific weird reports tied to parking near there, like car trouble.
Yeah, people claim windshield wipers turn on by themselves, stereos go haywire. There's even a story about a tour bus that wouldn't start.
Until someone apologized for bad-mouthing Carol Ann Smith.
Supposedly, wild story, but it adds to the lore of the original site's energy.
Okay, so that's the real history, the original location. Then there's the attraction, the Hex House people go to now.
Right, that's at 5610 West Skelly Drive. Totally different location, but inspired by that true story. And it's a big deal in the haunt world.
Nationally recognized. One of the best haunted houses in America. Top 15 in the world, according to some sources like hauntworld.com. Fox News covered it.
But here's the twist. People report seeing apparitions and weird stuff at the attraction too, not just actors and effects.
So it raises that question. Did something somehow follow the theme? Did energy from the original site attach itself to the place designed to mimic its history?
It's a fascinating, kind of creepy thought.
Okay, for our final deep dive location, Gilcrease Museum. The sources suggest this might be one of the most haunted places in Tulsa, period.
Yeah, it seems to have a lot going on, multiple layers of haunting.
Starting with the founder himself, Thomas Gilcrease, died in '62.
Yep, staff have reported seeing him, hearing slamming doors, footsteps when no one's there, classic founder haunting stuff.
But it's not just him. There's the orphanage connection, too.
Right. The museum grounds used to be an orphanage, and people report hearing Native American children laughing, seeing them run around.
So you have the founder's spirit, maybe a bit stern, and then these possibly playful children's spirits.
Seems like it. And paranormal investigations there often turn up something. Photos of orbs, personal experiences they can't explain away.
There's also that theory about the building material, the sandstone.
Yeah. Some believe sandstone holds energy, makes it easier for paranormal stuff to happen, an environmental factor maybe.
And investigations have had weird technical glitches, cameras, phones failing.
Uh-huh. And that story about the bus driver being afraid to turn the engine off, worried it wouldn't start again because of the place's energy.
It feels like the haunting there is maybe not actively hostile, but definitely unwelcoming sometimes. They mentioned kids' art classes don't last long there.
But the most compelling story, I think, is the one with the police dogs.
Oh, right. Security cameras going off repeatedly in one specific area, the south bedroom.
So police are called, they bring trained canine units.
And the dogs just refused to go upstairs.
Yeah, whimpering, backing away, running out. And the human officers found nothing. When trained animals react like that, it's hard to dismiss.
It really is. So Gilcrease has it all. The historical figure, the past inhabitants, the kids, maybe the building itself contributing, plus these really specific documented incidents with staff, investigators, even animals.
It really layers the history and the alleged paranormal in a pretty unique way.
And just a practical note for your exploration. The museum's actually closed right now. They're building a new space. Adds another chapter to its story.
So wow, we've covered a lot. From Alsuma, that vanished community,
To theaters full of legends and dark history, rowdy ballrooms.
neat spots like the Cave House, weirdness in Mohawk Park.
Schools, museums, even that complicated story of the Hex House. It shows how deep this stuff runs in Tulsa.
Absolutely. These stories, they aren't just for spooky fun for your Friday the 13th date, though hopefully they are fun.
Right. They're a way to connect with Tulsa's past. Different versions of its past, really. History, memory, folklore, paranormal, claims. It's all woven together.
Exploring these places means you're exploring all those layers. Time, memory, mystery. It's all there under the surface.
Which kind of brings up a final question for you to think about as you go. What is it that makes a place feel haunted?
Is it leftover energy? Is it just powerful memories attached to a spot? The power of suggestion? Or something else entirely?
Something to ponder while you have your own deep dive into Tulsa's haunted heart.